session will throw light on the various challenges and various options and various solutions which are being suggested by the speaker, and the faculty members will be definitely having a very useful session from a very great learned scholar and experienced faculty member over here, Dr. Anand Samuel. And I once again wish all the attendees to have a very great session ahead. And also, I congratulate the team, faculty team, Dr. Srinivas Rao, Dr. Sunil Kumar, and Sri Mahendra Babu of Gitanjali Institute of Science and Technology for having successfully been organizing this kind of webinars frequently during this COVID period. I wish you all a very great session ahead. So I once again, on behalf of Gitanjali, wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Anand Samuel for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable words. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the today's speaker, Dr. Anand Samuel Garu, who is now working as Vice Chancellor at VIT University. For the last 17 years, he has been working in VIT University in various capacities. It is my pleasure to invite Professor Anand Samuel Garu to continue the session. Thank you, sir. So please hand over the sessions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Srinivasandra, for the nice introduction, for the kind introduction. I know how much I deserve, but however, thank you very much. And respected the principal of Gitanjali Institute of Science and Technology and other members who have assembled here, a very good morning to one and all present here. I'm indeed thankful to Srinivas Rao for calling me and giving me this opportunity. So in the time that's available before us, I will just try to share a few of the thoughts what I have, and maybe it's based on what we do at VIT to combat this situation. All of us know that this pandemic situation has put everybody in trouble, and all of us are a little confused. And in my opinion, if at all we want to tackle it, it's more of a mindset than anything else. So I will just project few points which will be of help to everybody. So that's my point. So this I will go on to share my my PowerPoint with you, and it is there. I hope you are able to see. Dr. Rao, are you able to see? The PowerPoint is visible there?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, good. So the topic for discussion today is preparing ourselves to meet post-COVID academic challenges. And it is a question of survival. I think all of us should understand, even though we say that we don't need to panic about it, we don't need to worry too much about it, because worrying is not going to solve any problem. But it's a question of survival. If we understand the situation well, and if we realize what we need to do to come out of it, and if we do it, we'll survive. If we don't do it, if we take it easy, if we are a little lethargic, then we will not be able to survive. So that is the situation. The other day, we heard two ministers talking from center, the industry minister as well as education minister. They were all saying the same thing. There is no need to panic about it. Government is doing what it has to do, and we all need to do what we need to do. And if we do it, we'll be able to circumvent all the situations that may arise out of this pandemic. And so, as you see in the left-hand side, the question is placing ourselves in the right platform. Am I standing in the right platform? Have I chosen the right platform? If I'm in the right platform, then we don't have to worry about it. If I'm not in the right platform, by mistake, it can be by ignorance or because of innocence. We are not doing anything deliberately. But sometimes because of ignorance and innocence, we get into the wrong platform and get into a train which will go in a different direction altogether. So we need to be conscious about the platform where we are standing. And if we are standing the right platform, we don't have to worry about it at all. And in our mind, we must understand that it is a question of survival and not luxury. So if it is luxury, we can take things easy, we can experiment many things, but this is a question of survival. And or in my own words, I would say that it is a do or die situation. Whether we do what we need to do or die, in the sense that we may not be able to come up in life. So that is the situation which is before us. And if you ask me whether this pandemic is going to be a comma or a semicolon or a comma or a full stop or a question mark or a exclamatory mark, it all depends on us, right? So what I mean by saying comma is that we don't know what is going to happen, okay? And all of us are aware of the phrase that this too shall pass. So many things we come across in our lives. It will come and go, come and go. The same way, this pandemic also can come and go. We can take it that way, take it in the right spirit and get over all the hurdles and allow it to pass by so that we can come back to the normal life. That is what I mean by whether it's going to be a comma. If it is a full stop, it's a dead end. We don't have any other go, and so we go and fall, and then that's what I said, do or die situation. So we perish ourselves. The third one is floundering syndrome, where there's a lot of confusion here and there. We become like the rat which got caught in the rat trap. We just go. We are all confused. We don't know what to do and what next and which direction to go. So we are all confused about it. And so that's a question mark. And exclamatory mark, the problem is seen as an opportunity. As you see in the picture, please understand that every individual, whether you are a teacher or you are in the management side, or you are a student, or you are a common public, in the pandemic situation, it is like all of us carrying a big load at our back. It is heavy, it will be heavy, and there's no doubt about it. But now, are we going to keep that at the back and then keep on going and feeling the weight over us, feeling bad about it, making ourselves weaker and weaker? Or like you see on the right hand side of the same picture, the person uses that load as an opportunity. He makes it into a round shape, a ball shape, and starts riding on it. See, it's not only that his load is reduced, his load is removed, not even reduced. The load is removed, but he's using that load as a means of transport, going faster. Even if it is walking, he cannot walk that fast, but when he is using that as a ball and rides on it, he goes faster. So this is what is the situation now. Whether it's for every one of us, it's an individual issue. We cannot talk about what is going to happen to the whole world. We cannot decide about it. I can decide it about me and what's going to happen to me, and it is going to you got to decide about you and what is going to happen to you. And for you, whether it's going to have a comma or a full stop or a question mark or exclamatory mark, it depends on you, your attitude, and your mindset. Same way, what is happening, what is going to happen to me, it depends on me and my attitude. If all of us understand this and accept this, yes, future is dependent on me and my attitude, what I do, how I do things, then I'm sure that the next few slides will be useful to you. You will be able to appreciate that. Now, what is happening in the education system? If you ask me, maybe people are pondering over it, and then they are saying that, this pandemic has brought in a lot of issues, problems, and changes and all that. Yes, in education, since all of us are educators, let us focus only on education. And in education, if you say whether the pandemic has brought in a change, yes, it is bringing in a change. and change is inevitable. It has come in. Okay. Where now the question is whether the change that has been brought in, is it for good or bad, is what we have to think now. As educationalists, as teachers, as students, as professors, as management faculty staff, we have to think only in terms of whether this change is going to be there for good or for bad. We can decide any way we want. But when I try to understand it, go in depth into what is happening in the education scenario, I would say categorically that the change is there in education. The pandemic has brought a change in education, and I would say that it is for good. I would say authentically that it is for good. I have reasons to prove that statement. I will prove it to you, and then we will also think about what we can do so that it really happens that way, that they changes. It's not that changes by themselves, it will happen for good. All the changes, we will make sure that it happens for good. So look at the picture on the left-hand side, the top corner. The student there, he is not a college student anyway, he is a school student. Even for a school student, see, that statement is very, very valid. And I'm sure that all the college students also will appreciate that statement. The statement says, they said no phone inside the school. Today, school is inside the phone. How realistic it is. This is what is happening. All that what we said no yesterday, now it is come to a situation where it has come to yes now. We are forced to do it. The pandemic has forced us to do it. Even though earlier we said that don't use this, don't do this, and so on. Now we are saying, hey, do this, and do this. Okay, so that's the situation. And if you ask me whether it is good or bad, I would say that it is good. The reason being, see, in education, if at all somebody has undergone training for teachers, whether it is a school teacher training or college teacher training, the first thing what it teaches, I have undergone training, so I am very clear about what they taught me. They said, you have to understand the entry behavior of the students. So if some set of students are coming to your class in the year beginning, 60 of them, we should know about them, their strengths, their weaknesses, and their learning styles, and so on and so forth. And make sure that all those things are taken care of in designing your curriculum, designing your syllabus, designing your methodology, how you are going to go about in the class. This is very, very important. Okay, without that, if you do, students will come because they have paid the fees, they have to come. They will sit in the class because we say that they have to have 75% attendance, minimum attendance, so they will sit there. But what was happening in the past is that although they have been coming and sitting in the class and listening to all our lectures, whether the learning has happened or not, it's a big question mark. So I would say that because of this pandemic, something good is happening in the sense that before that I'll tell you about the people who are coming to the college now, who are there in the college now. They are all called as Generation Z students. Those who are teaching to them, maybe if you may be a Generation X candidate or a Y candidate or a boomer like me. See, depending upon your birth year, if you are born before 1960, like me, you are all called as boomers. 1960 to 80, you are all called as Generation X. 80 to 2000, you are all called as Generation Y. Okay, Generation Y. And now these are the people who are coming to the college now. Boomers, X, Y, and Z. Z are people who have born after 2000, 2010, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so these are the people in the college. So these categories, Boomer, X, Y, Z, all these people have different characteristics, psychological characteristics. What they want is different. Their learning styles are different. How their psychological traits are different. For example, the present day kids, they don't want to read books. They don't like to listen to hour-long lectures. They always like by doing things, learn by doing things. And they are fascinated by the electronic gadgets like cell phone, the laptops and iPads and so on and so forth. So this is their psychological makeup. That is the entry behavior of the students in the college. So as a student, when I come into the college, when I want something in some way, when that is not at all recognized, when not at all thought of, but if the people think about their age-old practice of going to the board and writing in the chalk piece lines after lines and giving lectures after lectures for hours together, please understand those students, they don't learn anything. They are not interested at all. But right now, what is happening? We are forced to go for online mode. We are forced to go for iPads. We are forced to ask them to open up the laptop and see. We are forced to ask them to go to the social media and open up and see the note. Like that, see, whatever that they wanted is happening. The pandemic has made it happen. And so now we have to decide, we have to tell whether the change in education, what is happening, is it good for the students or not? It may be good for me or it may not be good for me. It may not be good for me because now I have to work hard, think about something which I don't know. Now Dr. Srinivasa Rao knows how much I struggled to get into this webinar, right? So I am at the age of 69, I'm not that computer savvy. I have to call my son to help me to get into the Zoom. Okay, if I have to go and teach now, I have to struggle, equip myself very well. So for me, it may be a tough job. But please understand the present day children, kids in the college, they will love it. They want it this way. So if at all you're thinking that the change has come in education, it is going to be bad and all that, it is not bad, it is for good to the students. If you are student oriented, if you feel that the college exists for the sake of students, for them to learn, for them to get employed and so on, then this change is for good. Okay, and it has brought in a lot of change, other changes also. Like for example, earlier, in the days and all that, even in the schools, now we ask the people to hold their hands and stand in circles, like what you see in the picture there, that second picture below that boy. But now it's all different. It's all put circles. We say don't come anywhere near, don't shake hands. So that changes are there. And like in the case of the right hand side, people were clinging on to each other in the same desk, even if there are the desks are meant for two. People don't mind sitting as a third person in the twin desk, leaving some desks at the back vacant because they want to come closer to the teacher. So that was the situation earlier. Now it is different. Now the chairs are put apart and all the changes are there. It's okay. And whether this is for good or not, we have to see. We have to wait and see. But what you see at the end here, you will find that the teacher is teaching not to the whole class, but only for a few. So if there are 60 people in a class, please understand that 60 cannot be made to sit in the classroom. It's not possible now because minimum 1 meter distancing is necessary. So that means the gap has to be there. Even if it's a dual desk, we can ask only one person to sit down. If it is a triple desk, then please understand that again only one can sit down in one desk. So in that situation, maybe only 50% of the class will be sitting, and or sometimes even 1/3. We are now in VIT. We calculated. We thought that only about 1/3 or maximum yeah, in few cases, if the classroom is really big, we can go for 50%, but never 100% class we can have. That means we will be teaching only for half of the students. What does it mean? Is it that we are going to repeat the same thing for the other half in some other time? That may not be possible. So we cannot just like that double the workload of the teachers. So what is being proposed is that in rotation, students will come. 50% of them will be in the class at one time. Another 50 will be there at home, and classes will be held on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Class. Now, there are so many platforms are available, and most of the time, most of the these softwares, what I've told you, the platforms, what I've told you, are all free or very cheap. Now, for example, right now Zoom is free, and if you want to go for licensing, yes, you got to pay. It's about 7,000 per year. That's not a big issue. And Microsoft Team, they say that it is free, and Google Classroom, they say it is free. So we can use any of these through the free softwares platform and teach in the classroom, so that 50% will listen, the remaining 50% will sit in the class. So that is what is happening in the picture, that what you are seeing here. The person is there, the teacher is there in coat with the mask and teaching. 50% there are students sitting in front also, and those students whom you are seeing in the monitor are the people sitting at home and listening to them. So this is the art of the day. Two things are there that we need to talk about. One is the positive thing. Now, when this is happening, please understand that students understand the culture of learning all the time, anytime, anywhere. Okay, so that culture is brought in. That is number one. It's a good thing. Number two, please understand, so long when the students come to the class, what is happening in the classroom, whether the student is learning or not, whether the student is listening or not, the parents, they didn't know. People at home, they didn't know. But right now, when the classroom is going to the houses, please understand that all the people at home, they know what is happening in the college. Yeah, it is a tension for the teachers, no doubt about it. Accountability factor increases, no doubt about it. Teachers cannot manage the show as they've been managing earlier. That is true. It is good, in my opinion. It's good. It's going to increase the quality of education imparted, because the teacher, they knew that not only the students, so many others are also listening to me. So I got to be careful about what I talk, how I talk, and am I making the students learn or not. This accountability factor has come into the system. So in my opinion, if you ask me, the pandemic has brought in a change in the education system, and it is for good. It is for good. And what are the other problems? Like Dr. Rao was talking about it in the introductory remarks. Yes, there are students who are living in villages where the connectivity is an issue. Some of them, even in VIT, we have been conducting all the classes online for the last 2.5 months. It's going on in great style. But there are about, we have more than 40,000 students in 4 campuses. And so far, we have received about 20 or 25 complaints. Please understand, out of 40,000 students, receiving complaint from 20 to 30 students only, okay, saying that I'm not able to get the connectivity continuously. That's the point. Okay, so Government of India has done everything possible to connect all the villages. So people cannot say that connectivity is not there. Connectivity is there, but it can be a 2G connectivity or 3G or 4G or 5G. 5G means you are in the metro, you are very fortunate. Otherwise, it will be slow and you will have interruption and so on and so forth. And these 20 students, they write to us. A couple of students are from Jammu and Kashmir. The remaining people are from, about 10 of them are from Northeast, Assam, Meghalaya area. And few others are from villages in different parts of the country, saying that I'm not getting the continuous connectivity. That's an issue for them. I'm sure that even when you attempt, you will get this complaint. They cannot say that I don't have any connectivity. They will say that there are problems in the connectivity. Supply will not be continuous. Both internet supply as well as electricity supply may not be continuous. So there will be issues there on that. But just because there are issues with few students, we cannot say that we will not go ahead with online learning, online teaching. We must make sure that we go ahead because there is no other go. It's a question of survival. And when you are talking about online education, there are online teaching, online lecturing. There are two modes that are possible. One is synchronous mode, other one is asynchronous mode. Synchronous mode is, see now the way we are discussing is on synchronous mode. I am speaking sitting in my home, you are there sitting in your college or at home and you are listening. Whatever that I am talking, doing, it is coming to you live. Okay, there's no time gap at all. This is direct relay is synchronous mode. But if your college wants, they can always record it. There is option there in the Zoom itself that they can always record whatever that is going on for 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, and they can store it and send it to people who say that I have not the connectivity. Nobody now can say that I don't have phone. Nobody will say that I don't have a laptop or desktop. And they can always play back this videotaped lecture and then learn for themselves. Okay, so I would say that wherever there's a will, there's a way. And we have to take all these challenges as opportunities and find a way out and then move forward. See, in if you go to the foreign countries and then see what is happening there, what we are talking about, the changes that is brought in by the pandemic, they have been using it for years together. They have changed themselves long back. It's going on. Online education, online learning is an ongoing process there in all the other countries, advanced countries, whereas we didn't do it because we were only talking about our past glory and we are stagnant. But students were not listening, learning, and so we were doing more damage to education per se, I would say. But now the pandemic has brought in a change. It's for good. It's for good. So now you see in a school education, for example, now so far we talked about college education. In a school education, you see this guy here. Is he a teacher? No, it is his the child's father. Child's father is involved in education. So see, that means in addition to what the child learns through the laptop from the teacher, so that the parents also sit with them and make them learn. So the students are getting the benefit of getting educated both from the teacher as well as the parents. Again, it is for good. So again, based on all these factors, I would say this change what the pandemic has brought in, it is for good. Let us use it and come up in life. Going to the next slide. See, this is a VUCA world. Okay, again, I'm saying all these things because what is important in all the process is our own mindset. If you don't understand the reality of life, what is happening around us, and if we live in a utopian world, which is not existing at all, you know, utopian world is something where everything is perfect and it is only in the word. It's not in reality. There's nothing like a perfect or a utopian world, utopian system. Whereas we are now living in a VUCA world. What is VUCA world? VUCA world is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world.
And this VUCA, the word VUCA was talked about way back in 1930s or 1940s, long back. But so far, even though somebody has coined this VUCA and said that world will become VUCA world later on, people forgot about it. But right now, it has become a reality. The world, we find that it is a VUCA world, because tomorrow, what will be the status of pandemic, we don't know. Whether my zone will be a red zone, orange zone, or green zone, I don't know. Whether we'll be able to go to the college next week, we don't know. Whether will college reopen in the month of July, we don't know. So it's so uncertain, right? And the world around is so complex and very vague. So we are living in VUCA world. It's a reality. It's a reality. Even though we live in this VUCA world, we should know how to live in this VUCA world. It's not that, okay, I don't want to live in this VUCA world. I am a different person. I am a very systematic person. I will sit today and then decide for next 5 months, and then I will do what I decide today. If you are a strict person like that, you call yourself a disciplinarian today, but tomorrow you will find that you are a misfit and you are a total failure. All those things cannot happen any longer. That's what maybe God has allowed us to understand. That is what the change is teaching us. We are living in a VUCA world, meaning that we cannot take anything for granted. As it comes, we're going to take it. Tomorrow, if the pandemic is less, if the zone is declared as green, yes, we will go to the college. So tomorrow we must be ready to go to the college and learn or teach or whatever it is. And 2 weeks later, suddenly if again pandemic increases and the zone is declared as a red zone, then we have to declare that college is closed and then ask the students to stay in home, but we cannot ask them to sleep in home, but we have to conduct the classes online. So we got to be ready. So this is the situation where we are in. That means what is explained here like this, you understand this arrows, it is marching, it is showing different directions. So which direction we are going to go tomorrow, we don't know. So that means all of us teachers have to be agile. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what government is going to declare. We don't know what our management will take, because management decision will definitely depend on government. If the government says close the college, management cannot open the college. And so we have to be agile. So what is on the left-hand side shown by arrows is that all of us teachers should be very agile, be ready to adapt any change that can come in at any point in time. Earlier, when we talk about change management, all the management professors, maybe some professors are there teaching management, sitting and listening to me, they will say that there are steps to carry on, right? Change means you have to have a framework, you got to make everybody understand, have a couple of meetings, buy everybody's mind, and then make them accept everything, then slowly bring the change so that over time the change will be implemented. So that is the order of the day today. But please understand, right now that cannot happen. In this pandemic situation, if the change is brought in, it has to be brought in tomorrow. It all depends on that the change is not decided by you and me, or by our government, or our the so-called the rich countries and so on. It's all dictated by one small virus. Virus is dictating terms in the world, and so unless otherwise we are agile and adapt ourselves to any change, be ready to adapt it at any point in time. If it is tomorrow, our answer should be yes. If the change is brought in day after tomorrow, again our answer should be yes. We cannot say no, sir. No, we need time to understand, digest, prepare ourselves. All these stories and all will not help at all. So if our college has to do its role, if it has to become big, good, contribute to the society and bring up the children who have come depending on us, we must make sure that all of us understand this VUCA world and be ready to be agile, be on the lookout every day, be on the lookout, find out what's happening around you and be ready to accept the change as it comes. And see, adapting to yourself, like what is the picture there on the right hand side, chameleon, you know about that, right? The perfect example. When it goes to the leaves, it changes its color to green. And when it goes to the branches, it changes its color to brown. So the idea is that it has to survive. If it is not having that quality, all the other elements will eat that chameleon away. So it's a question of survival for the chameleon. So same way for all of us, changing ourselves on a daily basis, maybe even hourly basis, based on what is being dictated by virus, the coronavirus is the order of the day. This is what we have to understand, accept, if at all we want to survive in the market today. Okay. Now, these are all the general things which I thought I should tell you so that we will set our mind, prepare ourselves. It's only the preparation. Now I have come into the actual college scenario, classroom scenario, and then maybe what we have done, I will project it to you. And maybe if your institution also wants to do it, if you want to do it, you can always do it and benefit out of it. And I would say that I'm not saying that this is the only model available. See, this is what we have found out as good and we are doing it. But there may be n number of models. You can have your own model. But the thing is that the model what you are following should fit into this pandemic situation and make learning happen. As long as that is happening, it's good, whether you follow X model or Y model. Now talking about the generations, I told you about the baby boomers. I started with baby boomers. It talks about my seniors also, like builders, Generation X. This is as of now. If you are aged between 21 and 35, you are Generation Y. If you are aged between 36 and 50, you are Generation X. If you are aged between 6 and 20, you are Generation Z. That's what I told you, that all the kids who are coming to the college, whom you are teaching, are all Generation Z. Those who are teaching to the elementary school, they're all the kids in the elementary school are all called as Generation Alpha. Again, they have a different kind of characteristics. Okay, so now we should know what this Generation Z students who are in the college are made of, or what are their likes, what are their dislikes, and so on and so forth, and make our classroom session. See, I can talk about changing the curriculum the way it suits Generation Z. I can talk about changing the syllabus the way the Generation Z wants it. But I don't think I can preach that to you now, because I don't think you have the liberty to frame the syllabus or change the curriculum. You can't do it. Ours is a university. We can do it. So we talk about changing the syllabus and curriculum, but you cannot do it. But one thing what you can do is you can change the way you deliver your stuff in the classroom. Whether it is online mode or offline mode, the way you deliver the substance, you can always change. It is in your hands. Nobody is dictating terms. Please understand that. Okay, so we have to know about their likes and dislikes, not for designing the course, curriculum, syllabus and all that, but for identifying the best delivery mode in the classroom. This pandemic has made us to think about this entry behavior of the students called as Generation Z, and what is that they like, what they don't like. Now, if you take a survey or if you Google Generation Z and their characteristics, learning styles, you will find n number of items there. If you read it, you will understand yourself whatever that I am saying is almost true, meaning that they don't like to read books, they don't like to go to the library and then open the books like what we did when we lived in the college and all that, when we did the college and all that. They don't like to sit and listen to lectures. Even if the Nobel laureate is coming and giving a lecture, they don't give it an option. They don't. If you want, you can try it out. You go to some IITs. Assume that assume that situation in your college, what is happening in your college, and what is happening in IIT. If a Nobel laureate is coming, we will make sure that we force the students to come in and sit and listen. If the same Nobel laureate goes to some IIT, the IIT professors will not force anybody, because the students will say, why are you forcing me? They'll say, Nobel laureate is coming, come and listen. You will not be surprised if you go there and sit, there will be hardly about, say, 60, 70 people sitting and listening to the Nobel laureate. Can you imagine this? So even if the Nobel laureate comes and gives a lecture, people are not interested in going and listening. On the other hand, if the same Nobel laureate creates a video of his lecture and posts it in the YouTube and say, my lecture is available in the YouTube and this is a URL, all the students will click and watch it for hours together. They like it. They don't mind. So now we have to decide which mode you have to adopt. Do you want to force a student to sit in the classroom and listen to our lecture, or give it in a mode and available in the net so that students will learn it and equip themselves, learn for themselves? Then you can always test it. It's not an issue at all. This is what the pandemic has taught us, and we have to think about it. I'm not saying that all of you change overnight. I'm not saying that at all. I'm telling you what we are thinking, what we are doing. If you feel that it is appropriate to you, then please think about the change. It will be good for you. And I have highlighted some of the pandemic effects here and its impact on the education. I've articulated everything and then put in words. I'll just read it out to you, and I'm sure that things are self-explanatory. The first one is that the time spent in the college will be less. It is almost zero now. Okay, so everybody is at home, and maybe even if the pandemic is over, when the government says that students college can reopen, please understand that they'll always say maintain distance. You reopen the college maintaining the distance. What does it mean? Not all students can come to college. Now imagine in Vellore campus we have 30,000, we have 28,000, we have 8,000 in Chennai, another 3,000 in Amravati, another 3,000 in Bhopal. If all of them come to college, that is a question of maintaining distance there. In the hostel, in the classroom, where in the road itself, it is not possible at all. So government knows about it. So government says have some mechanisms so that maybe 1/3 or 50% of them will come. Even if your college reopens, I don't know about your land area, I don't know about your class strength, I don't know about the total strength of the college. You got to decide. I'm sure that you also have the same problem, that if all of them come to the college one day, on the same day, you may not be able to maintain the distance. So that means you have to ask them to come in parts. Maybe 50% will come in 1 week, and 50% will come on the next week. Alternately, if hostel is not there, if hostel is there, now we are thinking that we will have about 2 months. Now it's not yet finalized. I told you, no, you should not, whatever that I'm saying it based on the discussions we are making. These are not decisions, because we know the decisions what if we say that these discussions or decisions, tomorrow it may change. Now if you see in our case, Vellore campus is not red, whereas Chennai is red. So we are struggling how to do it. Okay, so that's why I'm very careful in my words. They're all not decisions, they're all discussions we're making. We are just thinking whether we can cut it into half, in the sense that 50% will come for first 2 months, and 50% will be there in the home, and we will conduct it online, in the sense that people sitting in the classroom, they will listen to the lecture directly, whereas it is automatically recorded and it is telecast live to all those kids who are there in the home. And then after 2 months, these people will go, and those at home, they will come back. Like that, we are thinking. What's going to happen, only time will tell. Okay, so like that, so the time spent in the college, definitely for this semester, it is reduced considerably. So they are talking about how will students do the experiments, how will students socialize, what about the character building, all those issues are talked about. In my opinion, wherever there's a will, there's always a way. We can always do it. It's not an issue at all. Okay, see, when you talk about experiments, we have program-based experiments, computer-based experiments. It's not necessary that students need to come to the college. We have simulation-based experiments. It's not necessary that students need to come to the college for simulation experiments. There are experiments which are based on software packages which you might have bought, spending a lot of money. So that is all licensed for the system, and not just like that to students, can be given to students. But that also it's possible if you have a VPN network, and we have made that happen. And so students are sitting at home and doing all those experiments, whatever that is possible, directly, the simulation experiments, program-based experiments, and all other experiments which they can do through VPN. And we also found out that there's an experiment which can have remote control, and even fluid mechanics experiments can be done sitting at home. If only we have that connecting gadget, it may be slightly costly, but if you do that, you can do it, and that also we have found out. There are few other experiments which cannot be done. For example, somebody wants to operate on a lathe. Yes, we cannot do it on a remote basis. If you want to conduct some civil students want to conduct test on UTM, it's not possible. So few experiments are not possible. That alone, you will set it apart for a later date. When the students are free, when they want to come, they can come and do it. Otherwise, this method of operation should be possible. It is being made possible for VIT. So for your institution also, it should not be a difficult thing, provided all of you agree to it, have the mindset, accept the reality that it's a question of survival, have the mindset that yes, we will change it, and management willing to spend some amount of money. It's necessary. Please understand that nothing comes free. If we talk about VPN, you have to spend a little amount of money. If you are training, if you are to talk about, even though all the licenses or platforms for LMS are all free, please understand that LMS will come free. But when you want to train the teachers, if they can train on themselves, it's not an issue at all. It's not an issue. Nothing is very difficult. All our teachers are good, and their youngsters, they can train themselves. But if they are a little lazy, if you feel that we need to have some external members to come and train them, then yes, they can do it. For that, you may have to spend some money. I'm not talking about big money. These are all some expenditures which it will not be too much for any college for that matter. And spend that money and train all the teachers. And what we have done is, have we spent any money? No, we have not spent any money. We have 2,000 teachers here. What we said in the month of, in the end of April is that before May end, all the 2,000 teachers should register themselves for a Coursera course on how to create an online exercise. Can you imagine this? A MOOC course. You know what is MOOC, right? Massive Open Online Course. MOOC. It's a very common term nowadays. So, n number of MOOC courses are available. It's again free. At the end of the MOOC course, if you want a certificate, you got to pay about 2,000 to 2,500. We told the teachers, if you want to get a certificate, you get it. If you don't want a certificate, complete the course and say that I have completed this course. That means I have learned everything about how to teach online. Teaching online is not like teaching in the classroom. Please understand that. That is very, very important, right? If I think that, okay, instead of going to the classroom and giving a lecture to the students directly, I'm going to sit before the computer and give a lecture like what I'm doing now. No, this is not correct. There are certain techniques that we got to adopt. Maybe later on, I don't know whether I'll be able to cover all those things now. It may not be possible, but it's all there. All the information, what I gathered, is all from the net. Please understand that. Okay, so if all of you can register, maybe I will send a few of the Coursera courses which are free for everybody. All the teachers can register, and it's easy to learn, so that you can become a very good online teacher. I will send it to Rao. Rao can pass it on to everybody. And all of you, if you want, you can do it in the next 15 days and make yourself a master in online teaching without spending even a single pie. Of course, the net connection you must have, and the broadband connection you must have. You may be spending some amount of money anyway, even otherwise you will be spending. So I would say that no extra amount of money is needed. That's what I would say. So all of you can become masters. Please understand that. And even the software packages, what all I'm talking about, please understand that if you want, you can go for licensed version and use it. It may cost the college a lot of money, but even at VIT, please understand, we're not struggling for money. But still, what we find that we are spending crores and crores of rupees every year on licenses alone. And few of our teachers, we were ignorant about it, but few of the young teachers who are computer savvy, what they have done is, they have seen and found out that for every licensed software, there is an openware. It's not a pirated version. Please understand that. I'm not talking about pirated version of the licensed software. I'm talking about the open softwares, openwares as they call it as, FOSS. Okay, so free open software systems, they call that as FOSS. So it's all there now. You don't have to spend money for all those things. Ask your computer science teachers, and if you want, you can. I can ask. Maybe I can connect to you with some of our teachers who can give you what are all the online tools which are available. You take those things and without spending money, train yourself. But what is needed is what shall I say, interest to learn. You have to spend time. You must learn. Usually, some of the teachers, when they come for teaching, they think that, okay, my learning is over. Whatever that I have learned, I'm going to tell to others. That is what some of the teachers are thinking. If that thinking is there, they must realize that it's wrong. Once the teachers, they are committing themselves for lifelong learning. That means they have to continuously learn. And now COVID is forcing us to learn. As simple as that. Learn. Be willing to learn. Spend some time, not money. Learn, and then when you go back to the college, I'm sure that you will excel as an online teacher. No doubt about it. And so when the students spend little time on the college, it is necessary that we equip ourselves, equip the college in such a way that even in that situation, students will learn. The second point, books, notebooks will be replaced by cell phones and iPad and etc. See, students will not be writing assignments on the note and then submit it to you. They will not write assignments on the sheet and submit it to you, but they will type all their assignments in the laptop and send it by email, send it by WhatsApp, send it by, if you have an LMS, it's good. If you don't have an LMS are all available everywhere in the net. You borrow one LMS or buy one LMS and use it, and all the assignments will be submitted on e-mode. Okay, once you submit, once the students start submitting everything in the e-mode, please understand that we are equipping them for tomorrow's world. On the other hand, if you are asking your students to write everything in a sheet of paper, or if you're asking your students to write everything in the notebook and ask them to submit the sheet of paper or the notebook as an assignment, please understand, in my own words, I will say, we are only spoiling them. We are making them misfit for tomorrow's world. When these kids, when they go to the office, please understand that already about 80 to 85% of the offices in all multinationals, they 100% of the multinationals and about 60-70% of the national industries, they don't use paper and pen and all that any longer. All of them have moved to digital mode. And if we as teachers, if we don't move to digital mode, so that means we are at the back and we are lagging behind, and we are not preparing our students for tomorrow's world. So we need to change. We need to be ready to accept all the assignments on e-mode. Even for those students who are sitting in the classroom and listening, please ask them to submit the assignment in the e-mode. That means you are preparing your students well for tomorrow's world. Students may dodge. Students may, there may be some teachers, very intelligent teachers, they will say, sir, let us not do that. If we do that, then one student will write and all the others will copy it. Copy and paste is a very easy option in online mode. So they'll all copy it, and so no learning will take place. What they are saying is 100% true. Ask the same question back to them. What percentage of the people are learning now? Is it that nobody is copying now? Even now they are copying. Please understand that. Okay, even now they are copying, but people, the teachers who are correcting all the 60 assignments, they are finding it very difficult to copy. Very difficult to find out whether they have copied or not. Whereas, if the same person is doing on a e-mode, if he is submitting the assignment in the e-mode, we have software packages. We call one package is called as Turn It In. Turn It In is a plagiarism check software. If you send the assignment through that, it will check whether somebody is copied from somebody else or not, and from which assignment he has copied, what portion has been copied, everything will come out in black and white. I think those who have done PhD or who have submitted papers to journals, you know about this plagiarism check. The license cost is hardly around 1.5 or 2 lakhs of rupees. N number of people can use it. Please understand that if you have one, and if the students know that you are going to check it using the plagiarism check software, nobody will copy. And one step further is, you ask the students to submit it through the plagiarism check software. Then the student themselves, they know that everything has become black and white. When they submit the assignment will say 90% is copied, only 10% is original. So copying can be 100% prevented if you go for online mode. Is it not an advantage? Is it not that COVID has changed the system for good? Please understand, everything is happening for good here. So we have to be happy that we have been forced into this situation, right? And restricted the social, the third point I'm reading, restricted social interaction in schools and in the college, in publics and all that. Yes, there are some social issues may come in, like students will not know how to behave in front of people and so on. There is a challenge. We are working on issues like that, and I'm sure that there is a way for that. These are all the changes that comes in, the character building, everything comes. It's an inward process. Please understand that. Earlier, we are motivating the people, and so that they understand inwardly that this is what is the good character. I should be a good character, by talking to them directly. Now we have to do the same thing. It's only kindling the interest and maybe making them introspect and change themselves. Now you do it through online mode. See, whether you do it in person or online, it is immaterial. It's an internal process, what is going on inside me, which is under my control, which will decide my character and things like that. So saying that character building will be very difficult in the online mode and all that is, in my opinion, it's a lame excuse. Forget about it. Whatever that you have been doing in direct mode, you do it online mode. All the changes, whatever that is needed, it will come. It's not an issue at all. And the fourth point is depend. Quickly, I will go through the remaining points. Dependence on technology has become inevitable. Yes, it is true. When we took a survey at VIT with 2,000 people, veterans there, those who have been working in VIT for 30 years and so on and so forth, about this being dependent on technology and moving to online mode 100%, digital mode 100%. We want to find out whether people will accept it or not. I want to tell you, frankly, that more than 50% of the people, they were not ready for that. More than 50%. In fact, they all were vehemently opposing, saying that no, digitization is not the way out and so on. I'm talking about what has been happening in VIT for the last 5-6 years. We have been trying our level best to push it. We struggled. But now, where are we? What can they talk about it? All the seniors who said that no technology, there's no other go, but they have to use technology. So, please understand, there's no question of debate here. There's no question of thinking about whether there's another option or anything like that there. There is no option left out now. We have to depend on technology, and all the teachers should understand this and make yourself familiar with all the technology, all the technological tools which are available. That means you have to spend maybe the next one semester totally, maybe every day, spending about 2 hours or 3 hours on your laptop, understanding all the technological tools available, software packages available, and so on and so forth. Make yourself familiar, and so by the time the next semester starts in May, you will all become experts. That is the way you have to move forward. Maybe if you do all these things sincerely every day for the next 6 months, I can even take a bet in the whole of Andhra Pradesh, maybe Geetanjali Institute may become a forerunner, pioneer in creating online contents for the technological students in Andhra Pradesh. That should be possible. And it is in your hands. It is not in somebody else's hands. It's all in your hands. If you teachers decide that way and work for it, you will become one. So that's a possibility. So dependence on technology, it's not a negative thing. It's a good thing. It's an opportunity for you. See, if you are going to remain as a teacher, regular teacher, going to the classroom and teaching, please don't assume or don't even dream of becoming one of the leading institutions in Andhra Pradesh, even in 20 years' time. It's not possible in the conventional mode of teaching, because veterans are there. There are people who have been doing the same thing what you're doing for 50 years, 60 years. So they will all be in the forerunner. You cannot even reach them. Whereas now, they are in the same race as you are in. Everybody is in the beginning line. So race has started now. You are going to compete with IIT Hyderabad. You are going to compete with all the other established universities in Hyderabad, private or government, and so on and so forth. The starting line, COVID has drawn. It is common for everybody. Now you're going to start the run. There is a possibility for you to win, which was not there at all earlier. So, dependent on technology for Geetanjali, I would say it is for good. It's for good. It all depends on how you take it. The fifth point, value system has changed. I told you enough about character building and all that, so I will not touch upon that. And the economic and health shock brought to the country, yes, all of us know about it. We have to make sure that we must make sure that we don't spend more. We cannot be lavish like what we have been spending earlier. We cannot go to the management and say, Sir Anand Samuel from VIT gave a lecture, and so it looks like we have to buy all the software packages, and you grant us 5 crores of rupees. No management will give it now because they don't have it. Only if they have, they will give it. But I have told you that for everything which is licensed, there is a open software. And everything that you need to learn, you can learn it with a free software. It's all there, right? So go for lean operations. And when the students come in, or when you are coming into the classroom or to the college, make sure that the health shock is always there in your mind and the distancing is maintained. I'm sure that if you do all those things, you will become a winner tomorrow. It's not an issue at all, no doubt about it. Now, what is happening there? If you look at that the first portion, you will understand that it reads like this: the unsaid truth of life. It is even today. It's very, very true. It's applicable. People don't change when you give them option. They change when they realize that there is no other option. And now we are in that situation. Please understand that there is no other option. So we have to change. And so there is a possibility that all of us will change. That means in VIT, every teacher is made to understand whether you change or go to the exit. As simple as that. I'm putting it a polite way. Please understand that's the reality of life. In future, no teacher can stay in the college and work saying that no, I will not move to online mode. I'll be a conventional teacher. I'm a seasoned teacher. I've been teaching in the conventional way for 30 years. I'll continue to do it. If you are there like that saying, please understand that the college will kick you out, or the students themselves will kick you out. And if I am like that, students will kick me also out. Please understand. I may be holding a big position. If I start talking about forgetting about all the online mode, if I say that no, I still remember Professor Modi, maybe Srinivasa Rao may know about Professor Modi, who taught me in Anna University when I was a student in BTech in the year 1970. I still remember his lecture. Excellent teacher. I cannot say that I will follow Modi now. Please understand that. Okay, so I have to change. I need to change. There's no other option. So from face to face with the classroom aids, flipped classroom, even this we have not gone. So the second one, face to face, we are still there. This classroom aids started using it, but we thought that people should have moved to flipped classroom. I don't know whether you moved again. Hybrid system, now fully online. Now we have come to this year. There's no other option. Please understand that. The point is that all these options were there earlier, but we did not take it. The blended learning, we didn't do it. But right now, there's no other option but to go for online mode. Kindly move to the online mode. Okay. How can we train our teachers? I've told you anything about it. I'll ask the same question. See the second line, and how can we train the teachers or students? Is it possible for all the teachers and trainers to get trained? So that's the question. Is there everybody's mind? The answer lies in the question. And question is, who taught our teachers and students how to use the smartphone? Tell me, did they undergo any training? Did you organize any training program when the smartphones were introduced in the market, that you use the smartphone, you take it, this is the button for this and this is the button for this, switch on? Never did it. None of us underwent any training, either a student or a teacher. When the gadgets were there in our hand, we know, we were fascinated by it, and we know how useful it is. We learned it ourselves. The same way, please understand, all the teachers and students need to learn it themselves, and they will learn it. You don't have to worry about it. It will happen automatically. Okay? And this picture, you will look at this picture here. The tap, and tap is closed. Please remember, it's not running water. So when the tap is closed, maybe once in 2 minutes or once in a minute or so, one drop will come. But this bird, a hungry bird, a thirsty, not hungry, thirsty bird, has a way to get water out of it. This is the lesson that we need to learn now. So we cannot expect water to flow. We cannot expect management to, throw money for all the training and equipping ourselves and all that. Money is not there. But learn the lesson from this crow, thirsty crow, and become thirsty and make sure that from the water tap which is closed, try to extract water and equip yourself, and that will be good for you and for the students. And what is there on the right hand side? The students are all there. You see this, no? It's cell phones. That is the culture. And you want to give any message through cell phone, please understand that it will be very, very easy. Okay, I will just share one experience here and then close it. Maybe later on if there is time, and we can take it up later on also. One experience is that when I was teaching in Vellore, so last 1 year I'm not teaching because I'm old. I had a lot of other works too, so I've not gone to the classroom. But I'm talking about 1.5 years ago when I was in Vellore teaching to the students. See, I always created a Facebook group. We have a LMS which can accommodate all our groups, and any interaction we want to do it, we can do it with the online LMS that we have, and that is possible, right? It's not an issue at all. But I wanted to involve all the students, and I wanted to create a Facebook group. I created a Facebook group, and Facebook is not allowed in VIT. But I said, don't worry, I will give permission. And then they all created Facebook. So that means only the students, 60 students, and I will be there. And I used to give them instructions. Okay, you know, at 9 o'clock, I'll say, can you all come to the room? And in the Facebook, all of them will say, see, 100% attendance. I have never got in my regular classroom. But at night, 10 o'clock or 9:30, if I call them in the Facebook, all of them will attend. Yes, sir, I'm in. And I give them assignment. Okay, I say before 2 o'clock, not before 2 o'clock, I will say that you finish it today. Only if you finish it today, I will give the attendance for tomorrow's class. See, people will work on it, and all of them finish it because tomorrow's attendance is dependent on that. And all of them will do it. I have seen people even submitting it at 2 o'clock and so on and so forth. That means so much of time they have spent. So what I did is that time, otherwise they were spent unnecessarily on unwanted things. Whereas I have converted their attention to the studies from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock at night, which even otherwise they will be spending on academics. And they were all fascinated because it's a Facebook. Please understand, that's the way you have to attract students. And I'm sure that if you understand this reality of life, okay, wonderful. Sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for, I'm requesting you to deliver the webinar immediately. Never you have said that no. So at any time we have asked you also, you are saying that Rao, we will do it, sir. Positive spirit we have to felt from your side, sir, at all the times when we have requested.
Thank you.
We have our principal, sir, and our management, and especially from mechanical department, we especially thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.